around 6:17 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is August 22nd, and I'm out here on some back road headed to Dalton, Georgia. If you're new to my channel, my name is Shawn. I am a truck driver trainer with a trucking company down here in North Georgia. And I put out videos every day trying to help you succeed in trucking and trying to help you learn tips and tricks and stuff that I've learned over the last 16 years as a driver. Now I've got the pleasure and the honor to actually train drivers on in the office. You know, I was an OTR trainer for a while, probably 8 years of my career, and now I've actually got to come inside and do it from a different point of view. And I've learned a lot of different things. So if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. I put out helpful tips every day. But first off, I want to let you know that Trucking Life with Shawn is now sponsored by Connect Now. Connect Now is a Bluetooth headset company. They make everything you need and nothing that you don't. So if you're looking for a good Bluetooth headset, make sure you go to the link below. That way you can check out Connect Now. But during this video today, I want to talk to you about what's coming up next week. We've got a major inspections going across North America, United States, Canada, and Mexico. So I want to go over that with you and make sure that y'all are all prepared and ready for what's coming next week. But let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Good morning, Mike. How you doing, buddy? Let me know where you're watching from. Like I said, I just do sometimes random lives. Today's just a random live on my way in. You know, I know brake inspection week is coming up next week, y'all. It runs from August 25th to the 31st, so it starts on Sunday. Last year, they pulled over 18,000 trucks during this week. And I want the drivers at the company I work for to be prepared, but also want all the other drivers out there to be ready for it also. So what is it? What exactly is going on next week? If you're new to trucking, you're not sure what it is. Oh, good deal, man. Good deal, man. Glad to see you get the home time, brother. That's good. That's what we're here for, man. We're just, everything's about drivers, and you know, without drivers, trucking companies cannot succeed. And you know, we try to work with drivers that are good and that do their job. And of course, man, of course, you know, you work hard, Mike, and I'm glad to see that. Good morning, Rick. So what I'm talking to y'all about today is something that, you know, we need to make awareness on. Is next week is National Brake Week for DOT inspections. It starts Sunday. It's going to run all the way to the 31st. They do this stuff every year, but last year they did 18,000. They put over 18,000 trucks. So I want the drivers at the company that I'm working with to be ready, but I also want the drivers out there that follow my channel. I want y'all to be ready also. So what can we do to prepare for this? Well, first off, we need to be doing our pre-trips and our post-trips. This is very important. The company I work for, I've been doing guard shack. I've been out there doing kind of like fake DOT inspections. And me as a driver, I'm not a DOT officer. 70% of the people that come through are missing little small things. And these small things that can get you, and I know they're focusing on brakes next week, okay? But that don't mean that they're not gonna find anything and everything on you. 20% of the trucks that got shut out of service last year was on brakes. So we need to make sure that we're checking our brake system. But I'm telling you now, a lot of the channels that I'm watching, they're brakes, which it is, they're going to look for that, but they're going to look at other things too. The biggest thing that's going to happen is they're using technology this year. Good morning there, buddy. Good morning, Christian. Got to see you there. They're using technology, okay? They're using technology on a few different things. I don't know if you're anywhere in Georgia, but they've got these cameras that are set up off 575, and they're looking down in your truck. Okay, I don't know if they're going to deploy these all next week also. I'm sure they will. But they can see inside your truck, in your lap. Those cameras can see what is laying in your lap. So make sure you're not off the phone. Make sure you're not using the phone. If you're using it, use a Bluetooth headset. Make sure you're using it through Connect Now. Go to the link and get you a good Bluetooth headset. But make sure that we're doing these simple things. A lot of these channels are going in depth about your brakes and brake chambers, which is good. But I want to tell you about the simple things. You know, Navy SEALs call it KISS. It's called Keep It Simple, Stupid. Well, there's a lot of simple things that you can do that put truck drivers out of service last year. And that's what I want to concentrate this morning. I can do a video and go in depth on the brakes, the brake linings, and that is true. All this stuff, they're checking for that stuff. But you better watch out on the simple stuff. You understand what I'm saying? You want to Make sure you're not talking on the phone. Make sure you're not making a bologna sandwich. I mean, come on, guys. Make sure you're not texting. Those things are also going to be looking for and determine on who they're going to pull over to check the brake systems. Now, another part of technology they're using is the infrared systems that are in the weigh stations. They're going to check the heat of your brakes and the heat of your tires. This week at the company I work for, I was out there inspecting tires, and I'm finding that tire pressure is not up to standard. Your tire pressure on your steers need to be at 110. The rest of the truck, yes, you can do 90 to 110, but I like them at 100. 100 is a good place to start. Don't just go by there with a hammer and just kick your tires, especially not next week. Stop and get you a $7 gauge and put that gauge on there. Good morning, Gen X. Gen X has been watching the channel for a long time now. I know a couple years ago she was getting her CDL and she was going to school, and she started watching the channel. I'm proud to see, Gen X, you're still watching, and I'm glad to see you're still trucking. That makes me happy. Drivers that come in and they have no clue what it's like, and then a couple of years later they're still trucking along, and I appreciate over the last 2 years all the support you've given to my channel. I appreciate all y'all for the support. But so we're talking about next week's major DOT inspection. All right, your tires. Make sure your tires are 100%. It's very important. It's very, very, very important that you're checking those tires. Now, there's a lot of reasons on tires, but for one, you don't want to get pulled over by the DOT, and then then they're going to inspect your brakes, then they're going to inspect the stuff. They're going to check your tires as you're going through there with infrared, and if one of them's off, you're going to get pulled in. I had a couple trainees with me last week, and we went around, and I found a tire that had 30 PSI. That's near flat, right? I had him go through the hammer and check the tires, and they all sounded good. He thought he knew, but there was one that thumped a little different. And if you're not paying attention to that, the tire may not look flat. To me, from the eye, by looking at it, it didn't look like it was flat, but it was flat. And that would have got that driver pulled straight into the DOT inspection. We failed a DOT inspection. He'd have had time sitting on the road, and they might have went through his brakes and all this other stuff. So checking your tires, make sure you're getting out and you're checking those tire pressure, especially Sunday to the end of next week when they're doing this inspection. Make sure your tires are on par. You should be doing this every day, but I'm telling you, next week there's going to be a lot of DOT officers out there. It's all over North America, Canada, Mexico, and the United States. They're going to be looking for things like this. It's really a big money grab is what it is, but they say it's for our safety, and it's true, because if your tires ain't up to your PSI, a few things are going to happen. You can have a tire that's overflated. You can have a tire that's underflated. And the worst thing that you can happen is having too much pressure in one tire and not less in the other. And then all of a sudden you're gonna have blowouts. And blowouts is an expensive cost for trucking companies, and we wonder why we can't get raises, and we wonder why, we're struggling in this economy. Every trucking company is right now. This is not a very good trucking economy. So we need to do our part to make sure that we're doing the best that we can be as truck drivers, and doing our job. Like I always say, whatever my job is, if it's cleaning toilets, I want to do the best I can. So why wouldn't you want to get out there and check these tires and make sure that they're right? It doesn't take about 10 minutes. But let me tell you, if you have a blowout, you're on the side of the road. It could be 3 or 4 hours on the side of the road. You're having to call for breakdown, roadside service. Not only is it costing you money, it's costing the company money. The freight could be ended up being late, not on time, which hurts our scores, which causes us to get less freight. And that just overall just hurts everybody. So tire pressure is very important. Also, tire pressure is very important for our MPG, our miles per gallon. And that's very important. We lose a lot of money, or could gain a lot of money on our miles per gallon. So just because not just for the DOT inspection next week, but having the proper tire inflation is going to help with the miles per gallon. And we have bonuses here at the company I work for. They give you bonuses for that. So of course they give back money to you if you have a good MPG and a good idle time. So to get a good MPG, it starts with the tires, y'all. It starts with making sure those tires are inflated to the right way. And this week and next week, I'm going to be going through and calling some of our drivers and reminding y'all about your tire pressure. If you don't have a pressure gauge, get with me. I'm sure we can get with the shop and we can get you a little cheap tire pressure gauge if you can't afford one. But you should be able to afford one. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to, we get those miles, you know what I'm saying? All right, so besides tires, walk through. There's a lot of things you can do. I'm just gonna go through some common mistakes that I'm finding when I'm inspecting trucks lately. And that's gonna be your lights. I know it sounds stupid, right? Your marker lights. I had a driver the day pull up and his whole marker light was missing. The wires were hanging out. And I asked him, I said, where'd you get this trailer? He said, yeah, I picked it up in Cincinnati like that. I was trying to get it back to Georgia to fix it. And I said, you mean to tell me you drove all the way from Cincinnati like this? Now that could have got him pulled in, and God knows they could have found something wrong with the brakes. They could have found something wrong with the airlines. So that little stop to get it fixed. I have another driver that works for us. He stopped and bought 2 marker lights last week and just changed himself. Didn't take his test. How long did it take? He said about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Now, we refunded him the money back for it, but instead of calling breakdown, he changed that light himself. To me, that's a good driver. Somebody that takes care of himself, takes care of his truck. It's not that he wants to save Rosedale money, and you're like, well, I'm not, who cares about the company? I get paid by the mile. Think about it for a minute. He spent 10 minutes on that light. He could end up spending several hours on breakdown. He could have got pulled over at the weigh station. They could have made him get it fixed there. A lot of things, unnecessary fines and stuff that we just don't need, man. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you check that stuff out. Mike said right there, if you're one of our Rosedale drivers, he said if you see him at a Love's, he said that he would buy you a gauge. That's cool. Appreciate that, Mike. Mike said if you're a Rosedale driver and you see him at Love's, he'll buy you one. So that's what I'm talking about. Drivers that we're all working together, and the company I work for is Rosedale Transport. Us drivers are trying to band together to help each other, and that's what we need to see, and that's what I'm loving to see. I'm getting good feedback from our drivers. When I call them, they're not getting mad at me about these scores. I'm trying to help them, and I'm noticing that drivers are starting to help each other, just like Mike's trying to do right now. That's awesome, Mike. I really, really appreciate that, brother. If you see him at Love's, he said he'll buy you one, so that's good. But yeah, so you want to make sure you're checking your marker lights, checking your lights. You also want to go through and listen for air leaks, okay? Especially during next week, with it being the brake check week, you want to check your airlines. Take your glove, and I want you to start at your glide hands when you do your pre-trip, and I want you to run your hand over those hoses, and I want you to look for tears, splits, stuff that's ripping apart, because if they see scuff marks in it and they see it torn open, they're gonna write you up. And while you're doing that, listen for air. Listen for the air. When you walk around, use your 3 senses, y'all. You want to smell. You smell any air leaks? Do you smell any hot brakes? Smell anything? Are you listening? So you're smelling. You're using your nose. My nose like the nose knows, no. But your ears. Use your ears. I know it sounds like kindergarten, but I'm serious. Walk around and listen for air leaks. Are you hearing? Are you getting any feedback through your inside the cab? Can you hear it coming back through the brakes? You hear that when you walk around? Then use your eyes. Okay. Do you see any smoke? Do you see anything leaking? Do you see any oil dripping? Okay, we got to start checking our hubs too, especially next week. They're going to be checking. A lot of us failed to go through there, and it is dirty. I get it, wipe the lens off, and a lot of the truck trailers, especially here at where I work at, you can look inside, you can see if it's empty or full. So check your hubs. I know in the front of your tractors, there's a little rubber piece in the center of your wheel. You can pop it right off with your finger half the time. Pop it off and make sure there's oil in it. They're going to check this kind of stuff, y'all. So y'all going to be ready. I want everybody at Rosedale to be ready. I want all clean inspections next week. There's no reason you can't. If you see anything that you think is wrong with it, stop and get it fixed. Call Keesland, call me. Let's get this stuff taken care of. If you're by the shop, please come by the shop. Let's check it out. If you just want to say, hey, Shawn, can you inspect my truck for me just to make sure? I'll go through your truck with you for you. If you're a new driver and you're like, hey, listen, I think I got it right, but I'm not sure. Can you go over this with me? I will personally come out of the office. I will come out there. The heck being with the office. I like being out there with y'all drivers anyway. I want to help you go through it, not to penalize you, but to help you so we get better. It's going to make us a safer company. It's going to keep us from getting fines. and the company will make more money, and then we will make more money. So next week, drivers, I want y'all to be ready for this. Your logs, God forbid, please make sure you've got a trailer number in your logs. I see a lot of people coming through and they're missing their trailer number, or they're missing their shipping ID number. These are little simple things. Like I told you in the beginning, it's called KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. It's the simple things. Are you certifying your logs? Make sure. Good morning, Brian Walton. Good morning. I see you in there today. Gold City, I see you there, bud. Let me know where y'all watching from in the comments. I'd love to see which drivers are watching. We've got 37 people right now watching. I'm not sure if they're from Rosedale or not, but let me know in the comments where you're watching from and who you work for. I'm interested in knowing it. And how's it going over there where you're at? Just curious. But we need to make sure we're inspecting these trucks. Next week, when I'm at work, I should see everybody doing their pre-trips. I should see them every day. Don't go through a weight station next week and get popped on a tire, popped on a log, popped on a light, popped on an air leak. Y'all got this. I believe in you, and I know you can do it. Just be prepared. Like I said, it starts on Sunday. Thank y'all for all watching. I thank you for everybody supporting my channel. Hey, it helps me on my ride to work. I got a long ride to work every day. I'm still just now getting the wrong. I still got a little ways to go, but I've been an hour and I'll be there about 7:30. But anyway, God bless every one of y'all. Before I end this, I'd like to say a little prayer with you. If you are driving, please don't bow your heads. Okay, I don't need you running off the road. Not while you're listening to Trucking Live with Shawn. Dear Heavenly Father, I come to you in the name of Jesus. I ask you to protect all the drivers that are out there. I ask you to give them wisdom, Lord, and help them know when to go and know when to say no. I ask you, Lord, to protect them with their equipment and make sure their equipment is doing good and they get it fixed and that everybody's safe. I ask you to go and protect their loved ones and their family. And I pray a hedge of protection on all the drivers out there this morning and all the drivers out there next week going to be through this brake check system. I pray peace. If you're struggling, Lord, touch them right now. If they're struggling with any type of mental thing or health issues, give them peace and let them know that you are their friend and you're there. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. Hey, if one of y'all are lost and don't know Jesus, I ask you to ask him to come in your heart. He'll save your soul. He'll change your mind. He'll change your life. He's a good God. Jesus is King. Appreciate y'all watching. God bless y'all. And I will see y'all, I guess, next time I do a live video. Trucking Live with Shawn, baby. Let's get it.